Hey everybody, I'm here to show you how to make this really pretty flower pin out of Lutradur, 3 different weights, and it's really easy to do. So the first thing is I take my first weight of Lutradur is 100 gram and it's fairly thick. And I'm going to create one circle, and all I did to make a circle, you can do it all kinds of different ways if you have a machine or a guide, but you know, I'm a simple girl. I just used a pudding cup. And so I drew my large circle using this side and my small circle using this side. So it's just a series of circles to make this flower, and we're going to use a heat tool to burn it, and that's what's going to give it the lacy effect. So I've drawn my circles and I'm using a total of 6 circles. And so I'm using the heaviest weight of Lutradur for the bottom to give it some stability, because I'm going to glue a pin back to it and wear it on my lapel. So that's the back circle is the 100 gram. Then there's also a 70 gram, which is lighter, and you can see that it's lighter just because it's much more transparent. So I'm going to cut the rest of my circles from the lighter weight. And what I've done is I've got my heaviest weight I cut with pinking shears, and then I took my next largest circle. So that's how it is. It's 2 large circles and 2 sets of small circles, each set cut with a different style. So this one is just cut with pinking shears. This one is cut with regular scissors, but then I sliced into it like little pizza slices, okay? And that's going to give it a lot of the texture that you see here. Okay, so that's what you've got. You've got 6 circles, and we're going to alternate. And what I did was I took an X-Acto knife and punched in the center of each circle just a tiny little hole for the brad that we'll insert later. And so we're going to start with the heaviest weight and alternate. So we've got my 100 gram, and then now the rest is 70 gram. So we're going to alternate the circles based on how they've been cut. Okay, so pinked to tabbed, pinked to tabbed, and I'm going to end with the tabbed. Okay, and then I'm going to take a cute little brad, and I'm going to take the brad and put each layer through the brad. Alrighty. Sometimes it's hard to find the little slice that I made. So each layer through the brad and secure the brad on the back. Okay, so now you've got all the layers together. Now we're going to do some burning, but before we do that, we're going to pinch it a little bit and kind of get a little fold kind of hugged around the brad. So we're going to pinch all the layers like this, okay? And that way, as we burn, the layers will tend to sort of go towards the center, which is what we want. Now the burning process is very unpredictable. You have to be really careful, and it's really easy to accidentally just burn it all away. So you're just whiffing it. You're just taking the heat gun and just getting the hot air just near it for just moments at a time, and that's what's going to give it this really lacy, crunchy effect. So here we go. First I'm going to use a tweezer to hold on to the base part. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fold the base part like this and like this. That gives me I don't really want the base part to get too burned, so I'm going to hold it like that. And here we go. Here's my heat tool. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to allow the air to kind of blow the layers apart from a distance, but then as I get in closer, I'm going to be really careful to just barely touch it, and I'm purposely touching it kind of on the edges to get them to kind of curl in towards each other and get more textural. And if they are curling away too far, then I'll kind of come around the back side and if in between, if I'm not sure how they're doing, then I'll kind of come in and separate them and and unscrunch them a little bit. Lutradur is 100% polyester, so it melts quite nicely, and it can also melt and kind of stick to itself. So as you're working, it's kind of a good idea to come in and kind of peel the layers apart a little bit and scrunch them, and that's what gives it the texture, and it allows each layer to kind of show up on its own. So then I'm going to kind of pull out any little pieces that kind of got blown under, just to see what I've got left here. And I really like the pieces to be as scrunchy as possible without burning off. So I'm going to more carefully hit some of these real square edges and see if I can't get them just a little bit lacier. Oops, excuse me. Okay, that's about as far as I can go before I start burning it away. So as you can see, you've got a lot of texture, and it looks real carnation-y and fun. And then your base is still intact to kind of hold it together. All right, so then what I would do is I would spritz this with some color, and whatever brand of spray mist that you like, give this a spritz. And if I want to cover the brad, I've put like a little round circle of paper over the brad to not color it. And then once that's spritzed and dry, then I'm going to come in and add my leaves, and I'll be done. So to add my leaves, I'm just going to straighten out my brad, and this is the 25-gram Lutradur, which is really thin, and I have just lightly washed it with some watered back paint to give it a little color. And it's so thin you don't even need to pre-cut holes. So I'm just going to see how I like these three shapes of leaves, and I'm going to just tuck them onto the brad. And once I have them where I want them, then I'm going to re-secure the brad. And now I've got some cute little leaf accents on the side. And that's all it is. Really easy peasy. And then on the back, you can take a pin back and glue it right there, or you can use this on a greeting card or as a very dimensional scrapbook page embellishment. I just think it's beautiful.